Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Steven. Happy October 4th. It's a couple things going on today. First, it's Vlogtober Day 4. And second, it's my best friend's birthday. It's Marcus's birthday. He's not having a good time. He's actually going through some things right now that are really challenging and they suck. And he's having a difficult time with it. I dropped him a message this morning. We never call each other. I mean, someone would have to be dying for us to make a phone call. We communicate via text usually. He has not returned my text, so I'm going to text him again and then do the unthinkable in calling him to see what's going on. But if you're a believer in prayer and all that stuff, you know I'm not. But they say prayer changes things. So if you're a prayer-loving kind of person, just send one out to my friend Marcus if you could. He deserves a little something good in his life. So I am going to do a short Q&A video, mostly because nothing else is going on today. I went to my home group. We had a business meeting. My only input was that I suggested that we contribute money towards the different layers of the service structure for the recovery program that I practice. So my home group, we do something called the seventh tradition because we are self-supporting. We pay our own bills. So during the meeting, they'll send a basket around. And in my home group, the suggested donation or contribution is $1.50. So it's not like we're asking for a lot of money. It's $1.50 per meeting. And that money goes towards paying the rent for the space that we rent for our meeting. Books, snacks, coffee, and coffee has gotten so expensive lately. And other meetings have been dipping into our coffee supplies, which is terribly unfair. But so that little bit of money, collects. We collect that, and eventually we end up having a little bit of a surplus with money. And money is not a great thing to have in our pockets if you're a recovery meeting. It's not a healthy thing to do. So we spend the money. We send those extra funds to other facets of the recovery community, and that would be the district level, the area level, and the general service level. Also, we contribute a little bit of money to our central office, which is where we buy some literature locally and chips, stuff like that. That's also where the phone volunteers hang out. That's where blah, 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 I can't even talk. Where their office is. If you were to call the number for Alcoholics Anonymous, for example, in Las Vegas, that's where you would end up, and they could direct you towards a meeting. That's pretty much what that is. Blah, blah, blah. A long explanation as to what I was suggesting. And the suggestion was accepted, so that was very good. Went to have a quick bite to eat for lunch. Came home, gave the cat some treats, and that's it for the day. I don't see myself leaving the house. I am going to list a few more things on eBay, but that's about it. So that's a 3-minute long introduction to the idea that I'm going to be doing a short Q&A video. You are so patient with me. And part of the reason I'm doing the Q&A video also is that I'm not in a great place. I'm really, I'm having a little bit of stress. Some of it, most of it, actually all of it, I totally have no control over. So I shouldn't be stressed about it, but yeah, there are some things going on that I have no control over with work, and I'm hopeful, but I'm also mildly stressed. And yeah, I just, maybe later this month, maybe on the 11th, it's my mother's birthday, I'll tell you about what's going on in my head. I know I'm being very cryptic right now, but because I'm in a strange, weird place in my head, I also thought, gee, a Q&A video would definitely help me lose focus off what's going on in my mind and just answer some questions. So why don't I get to it? So this is a big one. So I'm gonna try and be succinct here because you know I like to talk. Teresa, I think her name is Teresa, asked, what advice would I have for anyone moving to Las Vegas? Now, she asked this question like 3 months ago, but I haven't really figured out how to answer the question until I did a Q&A video, but here we are. So I wrote down some notes. The first thing I wrote down was motives. What are your motives for moving here? Are you trying to escape? Are you following what we call a geographic from other issues? Las Vegas is a really complex place to move. Temptation is pulling from every single corner like a spider web. It's It's a slippery place. So really look at your motives behind moving to someplace like Las Vegas. It's an interesting place to live, and it has changed a lot over the past, say, 7 or 8 years, 9 years that I've lived here. And I'll touch on some of those things. But look at your motives behind why you want to move here to Las Vegas. Do you have friends, family, grandchildren in the area? Perfect reason to come. Or do you like to gamble and like shows and stuff like that? It might not be the place for you. Visit, but I don't know about living here. But so after motives, understand the weather. Now, if you're going to move to Las Vegas, I totally suggest visiting a couple times for extended periods of time, like a week at a time, if not more, if you can swing it. I would come here and visit in July and spend a week in Las Vegas. Rent an affordable room, get a B&B, rent a car, spend some time in Las Vegas. Drive around every single part of Las Vegas. Get an idea for each neighborhood. Every, say, mile or two in Las Vegas is almost a completely different town. You can go to Henderson, you can go to Summerlin, North Vegas, and North Vegas is kind of a surprise. It's not as bad as it used to be. Great Green Valley, Spring, whatever. There's travel around Las Vegas and get to know the neighborhoods, but do it in July. Get a real idea of what it's like, because it's that hot. It's July hot from, say, sometimes April through the end of September. I mean, it's relentless. You have to get to understand that. Then visit in December or January. It starts to cool down in September. Oh, the lighting. A cloud just passed the sun here. The weather starts to cool off here in September. Like today is flawless. It's 80 degrees. The skies are crystal blue with little puffs of white. There's a little breeze. It's gorgeous. We all wait for September and October. But come in December when it's actually quite chilly at night. In the daytime, it's probably in the 50s sometimes, but at night, it might drop down to almost freezing. We've had snow maybe once or twice since I've moved here, almost 10 years ago. It's nine years plus now. But get to know the environments during different times of year and stay here for at least a week each time so you can get a real idea of what it's like to live here. Get a B&B. Don't get a hotel room. Get an Airbnb or something. That would serve you well. Renting or buying. Renting, Las Vegas used to be super cheap. The cost of living in Las Vegas was ridiculous. When I moved here, oh my God, you could get a cheap studio, cheap. If you remember my old apartment, that started off at $500 a month, including everything for a studio apartment. That same place is probably $700 right now. A single bedroom apartment in a place that's not terrifying would be, I would say, $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 a month for a one bedroom. That would have sounded abstract 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Now it's pretty much the norm. If you're gonna buy, I have two recommendations for you. The first thing you need to do, if you're going to consider buying here in Las Vegas, after this video, go do a search on YouTube for the Las Vegas gal. The Las Vegas gal. Her name is Lacey, and she has a real estate agency, and her videos are amazing. She will break down frequently with Amber Coleman or another guest, break down what the average costs are for real estate each month, over why it's a good time to buy, what direction you might, every facet of buying a place in Las Vegas. If you like me, you're gonna love Lacey, especially if you're looking for a home. And if you think, gee, I'm not gonna move to Las Vegas for another year and a half, 2 years, I really have plans maybe 5 years to moving to Vegas, call her now. And she can start you on the process and the path of how to plan, what to do, and blah, blah, blah. Now, I mentioned Amber Coleman. Amber Coleman also has a YouTube channel. Her YouTube channel is called Amber Coleman. She is a mortgage loan officer. I think she's number 66 in the country in terms of lending. She is not only successful, but she is an angel among women. To the day I die, I will be thanking Amber Coleman. Just if you don't know the story, I was looking to buy my first condo, my first home. I settled on what was my fantasy place in my budget. I signed all the papers. I sent off the money. I was just waiting for the seller to sign their papers and I would get the key. The seller died that day before they could sign. So, like, the whole contract went poof. Amber knew that I needed to hear this from her and nobody else. She called me to let me know what was going on. She called me from a hospital bed. She had, I'm sorry, I'm yelling. I'm that passionate. She had stents or something put in her heart. She was in a hospital bed and she called me because she knew I was upset, and I was really upset. She is not just a mortgage loan officer. She is one of the best human beings you're ever going to find on the planet. I'm going to make myself clear. So go to YouTube, look for Amber Coleman, but also look for the Las Vegas gal. That's Lacey's channel. And she's not only informative, but also super hella entertaining. I said hella. That's not me. So if you're going to move to Vegas, I have a fruit fly in the house. A big fruit? No, okay. So employment. Am I going to have time for the other questions for this Q&A? Employment. What did I write down here? Make sure you have a job before you move here, or if you can work remotely, because the employment market here in Las Vegas is garbage. It's dying. Vegas isn't dying. There's lots of alarmists out there going, oh my God, Vegas is so expensive. It's keeping tourists away. No, the current administration is keeping a lot of tourists away. Canada doesn't want to come here. Mexico doesn't want to come here. So it's just American tourists right now, which is kind of terrifying. But the job market is just not here. So you have to bring your own work here, or find a job before you get here, or again, be able to work remotely. Employment is really, really challenging here. And especially if you're not like a super high-end, like Ivy League professional. I mean, if you're just a poor slob like me, I was looking for a job. It's a different story. I'm not doing it anymore. But I was looking just in case. I was looking for work. The only place I could find that was going to hire me was the Crocs store. Okay, so yeah, me selling Crocs. But I have a pair of Crocs. I just don't want to work for Crocs. You know what I mean? So have a job before you get here, or be able to work remotely. Really. Let's see. I wrote employment is a bitch here. Renting or buying. Renting has become fairly expensive. It's catching up to other parts of the country. It's still not as expensive as trying to rent an apartment in anywhere in California, in New England, New York, Boston, anywhere. Chicago. The renting prices have risen up to what you would find maybe normal in other parts of the country. Here in Vegas, it's the apocalypse. Again, I think I already said this, but my first apartment here in Las Vegas, I had a studio. It was $500 a month. I mean, it was insane. Now, a one-bedroom apartment here in Vegas is probably $1,800 a month, which honestly isn't that bad. But that's from someone who is from Boston, where it's like ridiculous, So renting is bad. The average, I just had to Google this, the average single-family home in terms of selling is about $460,000. So you're looking at close to $500,000 for the average selling price for a single family home here in Las Vegas. This is why it's important you talk to Lacey, because she can tell you what you can be able to get for $350 versus $550. So definitely talk to Lacey. Once you have an access to a real estate agent there, spend as much time as you want. I am obsessed with the MLS software. It's a program that lets you look into the real life availability and pricing for houses here in Las Vegas, and I mean, I want to start looking at buying a house just so I have access to MLS again. It was so much fun. If you enjoyed going onto Zillow and just poking around at different prices and houses, the MLS program, oh my God, it's so much fun. But a single family house here is about $460,000 on average. Now condos, you don't know. Again, this is why I like Lacey so much, because she breaks down condos, townhouses, and houses. Almost every month she does a price breakdown in terms of what the average prices are. I paid, this is during the pandemic, $172,000 for my condo. 1,226 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, attached garage. Oh, I love it. At my interest rate, did I say it was 2.25%? Did it? What? 2.25? Yes, that's about the only thing I can brag about in my life. That and my health insurance is great. Cost of living is expensive. It used to be pretty cheap to live here in Las Vegas. Shows, sports, lots of sports. We have a great hockey team here. They're building another stadium here. So we have the Raiders, of course, are here. They're building a baseball stadium here. So sports, amazing place to be if you're into sports. Concerts, of course, all sorts of shows, gambling, going out to fancy dinners, all fantastic, all hysterically expensive. Just a movie ticket to the Sphere can be like a couple $100 or something like that. So yeah, there is the Smith Center though for good entertainment at a good value, but for the most part, entertainment here is very expensive, very expensive. Another note I wrote here is to be able to get out of town. Be able to get out of here. I love living here in Las Vegas. My heart is still always going to be in Boston. But I love Las Vegas. To me, Las Vegas, because I avoid the Strip at all costs. Most locals do. To me, Las Vegas feels like a small city, a small town, because my Vegas is part of Vegas. The other parts of Vegas are somebody else's Vegas. So I like Vegas because it feels like a small town. But the desert environment, the dryness, sometimes the weather can be just relentless, never ending. I mean, just too much. So you want to be able to get out of town. Thankfully, Las Vegas, because of our airport here, the Harry Reid International Airport, I still want to say McCarran. You can go anywhere you want fairly affordably, especially if you fly airlines like mine. You can go to Chicago. If you want to spend a weekend in Chicago, go. It won't cost you anything. You can hop over to LA in a snap. You can drive there in 4 hours. You have the whole Pacific Northwest up there. You can get out of Las Vegas, and you're going to want to, because it can be monotonous. I'll say that. That's a word I would use about Las Vegas. But those are some things I mentioned. I wrote down in terms of like what to do, what to think about before you move to Las Vegas. We're at 18 and a half minutes. You guys are such troopers for listening to me talk. I should have answered these other questions first. Daniel asked me, how has my approach to making videos changed since I started and today? Now, first off, if you go way, way, way back to my first videos, I'm sitting in my apartment and I have no idea how to talk to you. And I'm I spoke like this. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how to study for a flight attendant test. I don't even know if I used that much inflection. Plus my cell phone at the time, which is what I film with, did not allow me to film clips and then attach those clips and make a video. The video editing for those older cell phones was non-existent. So back then I had to do it all in one take. So sometimes I would literally have the camera, the real camera, the back camera facing me, and I would have a mirror up so I could see myself in the the screen of the phone, so I could be in frame, and I would just sit there and talk. And I honestly don't know why anyone kept subscribing to my channel, because my videos were so dry. Today, my videos are, well, fairly juicy. not in content so much, but how I present myself. These days, I am 100% me. There are very few things I try not to share with you guys on my channel because they're doors to places I don't want to go right now. And I will tell you, I'm terrified of the current administration in our country, but that's about as far as I'm going to go because it opens up a door to a place I really don't want to go with everybody. There are things I can't really talk about my employer and what we're going through right now with things because things are hard, but because it's a door I don't want to go down. But for the most part, I share myself fairly completely. Like, I'm pretty transparent about who I am, what I think, and I don't know. I really don't know. You drop a comment below. Drop a comment below if you can. If you've been following me for a while, how has my channel changed since I started? If you've been watching me for a long time, there was one fruit fly that's racing around here. So that's my answer to the question. But I'm going to ask you to answer that question for Daniel. How has my channel changed since I started? There you go. That would be an interesting thing to read later on. Mary asked me a question. She asked, this is a good question, because you know I'm a flight attendant. If you have not been here before, I'm a flight attendant. Mary has asked, would passengers be informed as to why there was an aborted landing? Now, an aborted landing, you've seen one on the news recently, is when a plane is going to land, it comes down for a landing, and just before it lands, it takes off again. There could be a few reasons. So the first part of that question was, would the cabin crew or the flight crew notify passengers as to why it happened? Yes. They're going to tell you 100% every single time. They're going to tell you why the aborted landing happened. But they're going to tell you after they solve any problems they had to. That the reason they aborted it, they're going to fix that before they start talking about it, right? So if there's an aborted landing, I've been through 2 or 3 of them. First off, the wind here in Las Vegas can be awful, and there was some wind shear. So we literally, I want to say we touched the back wheels to the ground, and we took back off again because the captain said the wind was so bad that we potentially could have been pushed sideways while we were trying to land, which could have been a tragedy had that happened. So rather than, oh, Marcus just sent me a text. I'm so pleased. So we aborted that landing so he could turn around again and try again, and we were able to land. But the other reasons, say, for example, you've seen on the news that we could be coming in for a landing. Another plane may have ignored air traffic control's suggestion, not suggestion, direction, to stop or to stay or to move or to go. And so that there's no go boom. The captain might recognize a plane or another vehicle is in the path of the landing path and would divert. So they might abort that landing. There's a whole bunch of reasons that I wouldn't even be aware of, but those are a couple reasons that come to mind. So first question, yes, the flight crew, which is the captain and the first officer, they're going to let you know why there was an aborted landing, but they're going to do it after everyone is safe, after the situation is over. So yes. She also asked another question regarding lap children. I'm going to try and keep my response professional here. Yeah, I can do this. Lap children. Wouldn't it be safer for children to be in a car seat? Yes. Yes, they would be. So lap children, and I believe it's consistently across the board in the U.S., a lap child is a child under the age of 2 that does not have a seat, that they did not purchase a separate seat for the child. That lap child, again, a child under the age of 2, no matter how big that child can be, the parent can hold that child on their lap during the flight, and they're not going to pay a fee for that child. Now, if your budget's so low and you need to save that money, you're going to have a kid in your lap. Now, I've seen lap children on someone's lap for an LA flight, which is 48 minutes. No problem. A lap child to Boston? That's going to be a challenge for you, for the child, and for the neighbors all around you. A lap child, again, is a child under the age of 2. I've seen some big lap children. My preference, and me, I'm talking about as a flight attendant, with my own opinions, this is not an opinion of the company, just so you know, I would rather the parent, if they can afford it, get a second seat, a separate seat for that child. If the child can fit in the seat and have that seatbelt fit around them. If the seatbelt does not fit around them, then I would rather them have a car seat or be a lap child. We see children squirming all over the place, all over on the floor, up and down the aisle. Parents will hold them and let them push buttons. And each time my heart seizes up a little bit, because if we hit turbulence, that child could potentially go flying, and it could be horrible. Again, this is my own opinion, not that of the company. So I would personally prefer to see a child in a car seat if the child fits in a car seat. I don't know. So yeah, it would be safer. Mary said, what happens if the plane were to flip over, for example? Yeah, good reason for a car seat. And the car seat has to be installed properly. And that's the parent's job. Just saying. And I think, and the last question, these questions are all over the place, but there's some of the older questions that I think have been languishing in my comment section for too long. Lisa, is it Soames? Lisa, has a Maine Coon cat. I would love a Maine Coon cat. And she asked me what I use to brush my cats, in particular Eleanor. So I use 2 different kinds of things. First, this is a brush with some of Eleanor on it already. I love this brush. I think I bought this at Target, honestly. Parkway? I don't know. I think I may have bought it at Target. I can brush her. Each of the little metal things is tipped with silicone so it doesn't scratch her skin. And when the brush is full, I just push this and that comes out. And it holds a significant amount of hair before I have to open it up. And it is very satisfying to take a big hockey puck of hair out of this brush. It's oddly satisfying. But my favorite thing in the world is something I saw at a cat show recently, last year. There were people brushing out Maine Coon cats, and they were using these combs. There's some of Eleanor right there on that comb. Now, these combs, I don't know the name of them. I'm going to try to remember to put a link in the description box, but I'm probably going to forget to do that. So just Google cat or dog comb for like deep, I don't know. But just type in metal cat or dog comb, and you're going to see this type. Now, this one came with a smaller one and a larger one, I think for $7 for both of them. And it's amazing. So at first, when you're brushing your Maine Coon, you're brushing your cat, nothing's on the brush. You're not seeing anything. But once hair starts to build up a little bit back here, it starts to accumulate hair faster and faster and faster. And it's wide enough so that it's not going to catch on anything. The hair slides through for the most part, but it still collects a lot of hair. These things are worth their weight in gold, and they cost me $7. I've already given a set away to a friend because they are unbelievable. So I use these 2 things pretty much every day I'm home with Eleanor and Claire. I have a separate brush that I use for Buddy, but it's just a little teeny bit of a brush. He's a short-haired cat, so he doesn't need too much brushing, but he does shed a lot. And when I show him on camera, I'm always seeing hair, so I need to brush him more often. But blah, blah, blah. I mean, did I do all this in one take? It's like the old days. I think that's it for now, because it's been a half hour of me talking. My mouth is like the Sahara, and I'm sure you're bored out of your mind. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. It's the 5th. What am I doing tomorrow? Oh my God, there's a little fruit fly that will not leave me alone. I am doing something tomorrow. What am I doing? Oh, I think I'm meeting my friend Carrie. We're going to have a bite to eat. We're going to gossip about another YouTuber in Las Vegas. If you're a Las Vegas thrifter, you might know who I'm talking about. She has a reputation. It's not good. It's not good. But we're going to gossip a little bit. And we're going to go thrifting. It's going to be a very nice day. I'll take you along with me. Monday, I'm going to meet with my cousin Heidi, and we're going to go grab a bite to eat. And then what else is going on? Oh, then Tuesday, I don't think I have any plans. So I'll take you along with me. It's Vlogtober. You know I'll be taking you along with me. Blah, blah, blah. I keep telling you I'm going to stop talking, and I keep talking. I will see you tomorrow. Fly safe. And get rid of this fly. This little fruit fly.